What if I told you that by following just 18 simple steps, you could ensure you never struggle financially again? As of 2017, a staggering 78% of American workers live paycheck to paycheck, and this problem isn't limited to low-wage earners. Nearly 1 out of 10 workers making $100,000 or more also live paycheck to paycheck, and 59% of them are in debt. Living paycheck to paycheck is like being stuck on a never-ending staircase. No matter how hard you try, you can never get ahead. Every dollar you make goes to paying bills, leaving you with nothing left to show for all your hard work. With unexpected expenses added to the mix, it's no wonder that 55% of Americans are in credit card debt, with 10% having more than a $5,000 balance outstanding. If you continue in this financial struggle for years, how can you ever work towards your long-term financial goals like buying a house or saving for college, let alone enjoying luxuries like a nice vacation? Here's a secret that all truly wealthy people know: anyone can become rich. The difficult part is figuring out how to stay rich. Many people get lucky, make a lot of money, but then find themselves struggling again just a few years later. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear, step-by-step plan that many wealthy people have followed, and you can follow it too. Here are 18 steps to make sure you never become poor again. Step 1. Pay yourself first. Here's where it gets tricky for most people who don't have much money. They usually pay their bills first. Rich people, on the other hand, pay themselves first. When poor people pay their bills first, they often have nothing left over for themselves. It's like they're just paying bills until they die, which isn't a great plan. This is where having a business can help a lot. Businesses are taxed differently, so you can afford to pay yourself first and still have extra money. In this case, paying yourself becomes a business expense, and the business covers the bills. The money you pay yourself should go straight into investments. It's a good idea to automate this process, so the money moves from your personal account without you having to think about it. For us, it goes into index funds and crypto investments. This is what people mean when they say, put your wealth creation on autopilot. But you can only do this if you pay yourself first. If you pay your bills first, they'll eat up all your money and you won't have anything left. Step 2. Acquire, create, or build your first asset that makes money while you sleep. If you followed all the steps correctly, you should be ready to start building assets. The easiest type of asset to get into is real estate. Many people think real estate is expensive because they imagine pricey homes or buildings and assume they need a lot of money to buy them. However, you only need about 20% of the house's price as a down payment. After you buy the house, you can rent it out right away. If you improve the house, you can charge higher rent. With a good tenant, the house will generate monthly income for you. Real estate isn't the only asset that can bring in money. Writing and publishing a book can also generate income whenever someone buys it. Stocks that pay dividends provide regular payouts, though usually smaller. Running an e-commerce store can also earn money by taking orders even while you're asleep. Step 3. Use your work money to improve and solidify the income-generating asset. By now, you've probably got a steady income from your job and your first money-making asset. One common mistake people make is they try to spread their money too thin by diversifying too early. Instead of using all your money to start a third business, use some of it to improve your current asset. For example, if it's real estate, consider fixing things like the roof, windows, or giving the place a fresh coat of paint to increase its rental value. If you have an e-commerce store, focus on improving its design, advertising, and content. Invest in your current money-making asset until it becomes a solid investment. Only then should you think about starting something new. Don't spread yourself too thin by chasing shiny new opportunities. We've seen people mess up successful businesses because they got distracted by new ideas and forgot to take care of what was already making them money. Avoid making the same mistake. Step 4. Save money by investing in easy-to-liquidate assets that also increase in value. You're here because you want to break free from being poor, right? A big part of that is learning how to save money. Now, we know saving isn't the most exciting topic, but rich people do it differently. They don't just save for a rainy day like poor people do. Instead, they create what's called an opportunity fund. This fund is set aside specifically for You guessed it, opportunities. Here's the crucial difference. When a great opportunity comes along, rich people are ready to jump on it because they have money set aside for exactly that purpose. Poor people, on the other hand, often miss out because they don't have this kind of fun. As a result, they stay stuck in the same financial situation. Rich people keep getting richer because they're prepared to seize opportunities when they arise. By having an opportunity fund ready to go, they can take advantage of those chances to grow their wealth. Do this a few times, and you'll never be poor again. But don't picture the opportunity fund as just a shoebox stuffed with cash under your bed. Even that money should be invested, maybe in stocks through easy-to-access platforms like Robinhood, Revolut, or eToro. Why? Because your money should always be working for you, not sitting idle. If you let it stagnate, it might just find someone else who knows how to put it to better use. Step 5. Make investing in yourself a priority. All the progress you've made in life so far is because you learned things that were valuable. Maybe you learned from someone who did it before, or maybe you learned through trial and error. You're reading this because you're serious about investing in yourself. But just reading or attending events isn't always enough. We know people who read books and go to conferences, but don't see real progress. To truly move forward, you have to invest in yourself. Investing means spending your time, effort, and sometimes money. If you want to improve your work, you might need better tools, which cost money. You might worry if they're worth it, but once you have them, you'll need to spend time and effort learning how to use them effectively. The same goes for specialized knowledge. We're sharing basic principles for free, which will benefit you for life. But sometimes you need specific knowledge or want to speed up your progress. That's when you invest money to gain know-how, like buying a course or a tool. Remember, investing in yourself is essential for progress, and it doesn't have to be expensive. Step 6. Your effort pays for assets and assets pay for your pleasure. All the money you make beyond what you need to survive should be put into assets. A common mistake that keeps people poor is spending money on things they don't really need, like food, toys, clothes, TVs, or vacations. Here's an important lesson. Just because you have money doesn't mean you can afford to spend it. Think about that for a moment. Until you grasp this idea, you're playing a long-term game, right? Here's how the rich handle it. Instead of splurging on fancy things now, even if it's a rare treat, they stick to basics like water until they can afford those luxuries anytime they want. Every time you want to buy something just for fun, ask yourself, am I paying for this with my time, or are my assets paying for it? If your assets aren't making enough money to cover the cost of what you want, you can't really afford it, and it's better to keep working. In the long run, the smartest move is to trade your time for assets until you no longer have to worry about money. Step 7. Find opportunities that pay for themselves. Many poor people don't realize that there are opportunities out there that can pay for themselves. Let me tell you about someone we know who did just that. He wanted a place to live and found a townhouse that was going up for sale. Since he had good credit, which we talked about before, he got a loan from the bank with a small down payment. He moved into one part of the townhouse and rented out the other units. The rent from his tenants covered the mortgage and even left him with extra money. So now he lives in his place for free, and every month he's building up the value of the whole building. But this concept isn't limited to real estate. Let's say you buy a new camera. If you use it to take photos for clients, eventually, the money you make from those photos will cover the cost of the camera. After that, every job you do with the camera is extra income. The key is always to look for opportunities that can pay for themselves. Step 8. Reinvest all your profits to accelerate wealth creation. By now, you're probably doing pretty well. One of our personal secrets to growing wealth has been consistently putting our money back into our businesses. If you're young and don't have many people depending on you, you can afford to reinvest everything you make into your business. This gives you a better chance at building real wealth. The more you put back into your business, the faster you'll reach a point of financial stability. What's even cooler is that in many countries, when you reinvest your profits into your business, you don't have to pay taxes on that money. That means you get to keep all the financial benefits of your profit without the government taking a cut. That's why big companies like Amazon often pay very little in taxes. They reinvest a lot of their money back into the business or claim it as expenses. When you're a corporation, you only get taxed on what's left after you subtract your expenses from your revenue. So if you spend all your money on expenses, there's nothing left to be taxed. That's also why you'll often see expensive cars being leased by companies instead of owned by individuals. It's like playing a game of money chess, and you need to learn the rules and figure out how to play if you want to win. Step 9. Do not improve your lifestyle in proportion to your earnings. This is why many people who've escaped poverty end up back in it. They get caught up in playing status games. Even though you might have the money, there's no need to show off. We know it's tempting to prove your haters wrong and flaunt your success. But remember, winning isn't final until the battle is won. So don't mess this up. Keep living below your means, even if you're now someone who has means. Instead, set rewards for yourself when you reach certain goals. Even if we can't afford something that costs just 5% of what we're making, we still aim to increase our income by at least 10% before buying it. That way, even after we splurge, our finances are still growing positively. It's easy to sabotage yourself by upgrading your lifestyle too soon. Don't fall into that trap. Keep playing the long game and aim to win. Step 10. Decide that you'll never be poor again. I get it. It might seem like a small thing, but it's actually really important. Every time you have to decide something, ask yourself, will this help me become richer or poorer? If there's no clear way your decision will increase your income, then it's a liability. That's why this process can be tough. For many people, financial success means choosing long-term benefits over short-term gains. Sure, it feels good when others notice you're doing well, but you know what feels even better? Never having to worry about money again. Once you've made the decision to work towards this goal, it's just about moving forward until you reach it. Step 11. Break down your situation into what's making you money and what's costing you money. Congratulations on getting out of poverty and surpassing everyone's expectations. But don't think for a second that you can just kick back and relax now. Remember, you've come this far for a reason, and it's not to stop here. Sure, take a moment to celebrate the fact that you can now put food on the table when before you couldn't. But now it's time to ensure that you'll always have food on that table when you need it. Once again, let's break down every aspect of your finances into two categories: what costs you money and what makes you money. Start with what brings in the cash, like your job or your business. Write down how much you earn each month and estimate your yearly income. Add any other sources of income you have, like benefits, royalties, rent, etc. Once you've got your income sorted, it's time to tackle what's draining your wallet. Your housing costs go here, whether it's rent or the expenses of owning your home. Factor in utilities, maintenance, and other associated costs. Do the same for your car, subscriptions, including insurance, hobbies, and any debts you might have. Write down how much each one is costing you. Now take a step back and look at your list. Your goal is simple. Reduce the numbers on the left, expenses, and increase the numbers on the right, income. It might sound straightforward, but let's dive into how to make that happen. Step 12. Close down the money pits. On your list, there are a few things that are costing you way too much money compared to what you're getting in return. These are your top priorities right now. Your main focus should be getting rid of these financial drains, like debt, as quickly as possible. But be careful not to create new money problems while you're at it. There are two ways to end up with more money at the end of the month. Increase your income while keeping your expenses the same, or cut your expenses. To truly break free from poverty, you'll need to do both. That's why you're going after the biggest money drains first, the ones that are sucking all the joy out of life. A common mistake people make is thinking that saving a little money here and there, like skipping a coffee or using coupons, will make them rich. But saving pennies won't make you wealthy. Instead, focus on closing down the big money drains. Every time you do, you're immediately better off financially. Forget about the small stuff for now. Once you've tackled the big expenses, then it's time to make some changes. Step 13. Focus exclusively on increasing income. From now on, your main focus should be on increasing your income. Find out who's holding onto your money and figure out how to get some of it back. Then repeat the process. There are basically three ways to boost your income. 1. Volume. This means doing more work to bring in more money. It's what helped you escape poverty. But there's a limit to how much you can work in a day. Plus, working all the time isn't good for you. Remember, as long as you're trading time for money, you'll never get rich. 2. Specialization. This involves becoming really good at what you do so you can charge higher prices for your products or services. When you provide top-quality work, people are willing to pay more. This is a great way to build long-term wealth. Remember, the more you learn, the more you earn. 3. Horizontal. This is about adding extra products or services to what you're already offering so you can make more money from each customer. For example, think about how every car wash also sells air fresheners. By diversifying what you offer, you can maximize your income from each sale. As long as you're disciplined with your spending and keep your expenses under control, the threat of poverty is just a money problem. And what's the solution to money problems? That's right, making more sales. Sell more, charge more, and you'll be on your way up. Step 14. Incorporate. Once things are going well, it's time to think about becoming a business. Don't worry about the paperwork or the unknowns of setting up a company like an LLC or a corporation. These days, you can do everything online, and you'll be set up in no time. One of the biggest lies you've been told is that you get rich by having a high-paying job. That's not how it works. To be wealthy, you need to own things that increase in value over time, like a business, property, stocks, or Bitcoin. Incorporating allows you to do just that. It lets you own a business. Businesses have different rules than individuals, which help them keep more money and grow faster. Remember when we talked about business structures? Businesses can get rich quicker than individuals because when you own a successful business, you're wealthy too. Most wealthy people don't keep their fortunes in cash lying around their homes or play pretend games on Instagram. Instead, they own businesses that are worth a lot of money on their own. Step 15. Stay disciplined and stick to your financial plan, even in times of temptation or uncertainty. Maintaining discipline in financial matters is crucial for long-term success. Temptations and uncertainties are inevitable, but it's during these times that sticking to your financial plan becomes even more critical. Your financial plan serves as a roadmap towards your goals, whether it's saving for retirement, building wealth, or achieving financial independence. By staying disciplined, you avoid impulsive decisions that can derail your progress, such as overspending during a market boom or panic selling during a downturn. Discipline also involves consistently adhering to habits like budgeting, saving, and investing, regardless of external circumstances. It requires resilience and determination to stay focused on your financial objectives, even when faced with challenges or setbacks. Ultimately, staying disciplined ensures that you stay on track towards building a secure and prosperous financial future. Step 16. Diversify your income streams to mitigate risk and maximize earning potential. Relying solely on one source of income can leave you vulnerable to financial instability. Diversifying your income streams involves generating revenue from multiple sources, which serves to spread risk and increase your earning potential. For example, in addition to your primary job, you might invest in stocks, real estate, or start a side business. Each income stream has its own set of risks and rewards, and by diversifying, you can offset losses in one area with gains in another. Furthermore, diversification provides stability during economic downturns or industry-specific challenges, as you're not solely dependent on one source for your livelihood. It also opens up opportunities for passive income, where you can earn money even when you're not actively working. By diversifying your income streams, you create a more robust financial foundation that can withstand fluctuations in the market and increase your overall financial security. Step 17. Surround yourself with successful and financially savvy individuals for inspiration and mentorship. Your environment plays a significant role in shaping your attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors, including those related to finances. By surrounding yourself with successful and financially savvy individuals, you expose yourself to positive influences that can inspire and guide you towards greater financial success. These individuals can serve as mentors who offer valuable insights, advice, and support based on their own experiences. Learning from their successes and failures can help you avoid common pitfalls and accelerate your own financial growth. Additionally, Being around successful people can expand your mindset and expose you to new opportunities and possibilities that you may not have considered otherwise. Surrounding yourself with a network of like-minded individuals who share your goals and values creates a supportive community that encourages growth and accountability. Ultimately, by surrounding yourself with successful and financially savvy individuals, you increase your chances of achieving your own financial goals and aspirations. Step 18. Repeat everything until your assets out-earn your spending 3-to-1. It typically takes about 3 years to go from being poor to reaching the middle class if you're really dedicated to making it happen. Then it takes another 7 years to move from just getting by to achieving something called financial freedom. Financial freedom means you could stop working right now and still have enough money to live comfortably for the rest of your life. Some people expect things to happen faster, but for us, 7 years felt like no time at all. It's important not to get tricked by the idea of get-rich-quick schemes or the flashy version of success that Hollywood shows. Building wealth in a sustainable way is actually pretty dull on a day-to-day basis. You might have 1 or 2 big events each year, but most of the time it's just about putting in consistent effort. Keep doing the right things for long enough and you'll eventually get there. Now the retirement you're aiming for isn't about reaching a certain age. It's about being free from money worries. Picture your perfect family life. You own a house, 2 cars, go on vacations, your kids' education is taken care of, and you have enough money for healthcare and hobbies. Now imagine if your investments earn 3 times as much money as it costs to live your perfect life each year. That extra money could go toward things you love or building more wealth to secure your children's future. Even if something unexpected happened and your expenses doubled, you'd still have enough money to handle it. That's true freedom, knowing you'll never be poor or broke again. When you look at the whole plan, it all makes sense. But we're curious to hear from you. Which of these steps do you find most difficult? We're eager to hear from you in the comments so we can tailor our next video to address your concerns. Also, check out our special playlist with videos that complement each other, linked in the description and top comment. For those of you still watching, we're incredibly grateful. Here's a special tip for you. Go where you're valued the most. Now, on to our bonus topic. Too often, people settle for less than they deserve. Many people stay in relationships, whether romantic or business, even when they know deep down they're not good for them. But why stick around if you're being treated poorly? It took us a while to realize this, but you always have the freedom to move away from toxic situations. If someone mistreats you, don't just accept it because it's familiar. Get up and leave. Do this a few times and life starts to look brighter. If you don't like your job, find a new one. If your bank doesn't treat you well, switch to a better one. If your family is toxic, distance yourself. You're not tied to these negative situations unless you choose to be. Often people stick with what they know, even if it means suffering, because they're afraid of the unknown. But why should suffering be a part of your life? Waiting for change to happen can feel like being trapped in a cage of unhappiness, but you hold the key to your own freedom. Take a moment now to think about the things you're holding on to despite wishing they were different. You might be surprised by what comes up. If today's video has helped you even a little, please comment change and like the video. It lets us know we're on the right track.